Act 2. A blast of discordant sound is heard. The opening bars of the Stürmisch Bewegt from Mahler's Fifth Symphony. The lights come up and we're exactly where we were at the close of Act 1. Everyone is frozen. Staring at Mary Debenham on the floor and a pool of blood has begun beside her.
Touch nothing, Countess.
Of course. She's still alive.
Oh, thank God, thank God, thank God.
Thank you, God!
What happened?
You were shot, for God's sake.
I will need bandages and first aid equipment, quickly.
Oh, I've got them right inside. I will hold on.
Look, Michel, please search the train.
Oui, monsieur. I'll go with you.
Yeah, me too. Wait, do you have a gun?
There is one for emergencies in the porter's box.
Now, take it with you. This is not a game.
Yes, sir.
Let's go quickly. And be careful.
Book, Michelle, and McQueen run off as Mrs. Hubbard returns with the first aid kit.
Can you sit upright?
I think so.
Oh, it is only your arm?
Yes.
Oh, there is a great deal of blood.
Blood!
Yes, I do not like blood.
Oh, I have seen too much of it! Thank God! Thank God!
But here's the kit.
Thank you.
She removes a pair of scissors.
Do not be alarmed. I am merely cutting the sleeve of your blouse so I can have a better look.
The Countess cuts the sleeve of the blouse up the side and then off, exposing Miss Debenham's bloody arm.
I cannot watch!
This may hurt a bit. It is, what do you call it in English? You.
Iodine.
Be careful, will you?
But I'm all right, Colonel.
You're remarkably fortunate, Miss Debenham. 2 inches to the left and it would have been fatal.
Oh, thank God for small blessings.
Countess, may I ask Miss Debenham a question?
Are you well enough?
I think so.
It is very simple, mademoiselle. Who shot you?
I don't know. I only caught a glimpse of him. He was...
What?
Tell us.
It makes no sense. He was in a kind of uniform. But I may have imagined it.
Can you tell us what happened?
I'll try. I woke up this morning feeling disoriented, as though I'd been drugged or something, and I had this splitting headache. So I looked through my suitcase for some aspirin, but I didn't have any. So then I stumbled out of the room, and I saw that Mrs. Hubbard's door was ajar. I called to her, but she wasn't there, and then... I know I shouldn't have, but I went into a room. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's quite all right.
Go on, go on.
Well, my head was splitting open by this time, and I wasn't thinking straight. So I looked for some aspirin in Mrs. Hubbard's makeup bag. And there was this knife, and it was covered with blood.
Oh, in my bag?
Yes.
Where is it now?
Well, I left it where it was. I felt so frightened.
Oh, holy cow! I'll go get him!
Stop! You will not go get it. I will retrieve it when I am ready. Now, Miss Debenham, continue.
Well, let me just say that this does prove that there was a man in my room last night like I was there.
Mrs. Hubbard.
All right.
Miss Debenham.
Well, I was frightened when I saw the knife, and I must have backed into Mr. Ratchet's room. And then I turned and saw the body on the bed with all the blood and the wounds, and I screamed. And then I saw the man and the gun, and that's all I remember.
It's all right.
Are you sure it was a man?
I think so. I assumed it was. I suppose I'm not positive.
He must have been hiding in this room behind the door, waiting to escape.
So if I had come in here first, then whammo! Well, no more show tunes in the shower.
Mrs. Hubbard. Can you tell me where you keep your makeup bag?
Gladly. Right behind the door, hanging on the handle. If these compartments were bigger, I wouldn't have to hang my makeup bag on a door handle like some drama school kid in a Rudolph Friml operetta, living out of a hold all and... Holy cow!
Poirot has retrieved the makeup bag from which he has extracted a vicious-looking dagger covered with blood.
I cannot look!
Oh.
Never seen one like that before.
I will be analyzing it for fingerprints. In the meantime, will you all please leave and do not touch anything as you go. When I have finished in here, I will be in the dining car, and I would like to see Miss Devon.
Now see here.
If she is able. Then Mrs. Hubbard, and then the Princess and Miss Olsen again, and Countess. Would you be so kind as to escort Miss Devon to her room, please?
Of course. You are strong enough?
I'm much better, thank you.
I see no reason to put Miss Debenham through anything stressful at the moment. And I suggest you don't.
I will bear that in mind.
I hope you solve this quickly, monsieur. I am not afraid of dying, but I would rather not speed up the process.
I intend to sue this company on the grounds of sheer anxiety.
Everyone leaves except Poirot, and we hear the thoughtful opening of the first movement of Bach's Cello Suite No. 2 in D minor.
Eh bien, madame. You are not the only one who is anxious at this moment.
Fade to the end of the corridor. Michelle is on the two-way radio.
Zagreb, come in, please. We have an emergency. Zagreb, we are 20 miles from the nearest town. We need assistance. Zagreb, come in!
We shift to the dining room, where Poirot is waiting as Boop bursts suddenly into the room.
No one! There is no one, I tell you, not a single person on this train who should not be
You
here.
are positive.
Entirely. It has gone too far. Our lives are in danger.
It's like a magic trick.
It is unbelievable. I have told Michel to go on searching, and he may find something.
I do not expect so.
Then where did he go, this man who is dressed like the train conductor?
I have no idea. That is part of the problem. Every time I find a piece of the puzzle, there is a suspect who has an alibi. Colonel Arbuthnot. He could have a grudge against Cassetti from the business dealing, but then McQueen gives him an alibi from 12 to 2 o'clock. They are chatting on the observation deck. Uh-huh, I say. So what about Miss Olsen? She is strange. There's something not quite right about her. But then Miss Debenham swears that they are up all night chattering in her room that they are sharing. And so it goes with Mr. McQueen and Mr. Hubbard and the Princess, and now Miss Debenham is shot, and I am out of suspects. Come in.
The Colonel and Mary Debenham enter.
I have brought Miss Debenham as you requested. Now, what do you want with her?
I merely wish to ask her some questions. Colonel, you may go.
I beg your pardon.
You are not needed for this.
Well, I'm sorry to hear it, because I'm staying.
I'm sorry also, because you are not.
Now listen to me, you little Frenchman.
He is Belgian.
I don't care if he's the man in the moon. I'm not leaving her.
It's all right, James. Honestly, I'm sure it won't take long.
She is correct. I need a mere 10 minutes, perhaps less.
I don't like this. Do you understand? And you can put that into your meerschaum pipe and smoke it.
That is Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, go to hell.
Oh, bon. Please, sit down, Miss Devon. There is much pain.
Oh, well, it's rather sore, that's all.
Oh, you are very brave. Now, let us all be grateful that it is not worse.
Thank the Lord.
Now, Miss Devon, in the hotel yesterday, I heard you speaking with the colonel, and he said that you were terrified that you would miss the train. Can you tell me why it was so important to you?
It wasn't that at all. It's just an expression. I didn't want to be late.
But you said you wanted to get it over with. Get it all behind you. Get what behind you? You seemed quite agitated.
I'm afraid you're reading into it. I'm tremendously punctual, that's all. I'm not a very big fan of trains.
Ah, pardon. It is my profession. Sometimes I am too imaginative. And you and the colonel are very close, I take it.
We only met a few days ago. Well, at the hotel, actually. And I suppose we rather hit it off.
And as for the murder, I assume you knew that the dead man was Bruno Cassetti.
I heard.
And you know of the kidnapping?
Well, not much, I'm afraid. I've never been to the States.
Ah, I see. And What is it that brought you to Istanbul?
I lived with the family for about a year. I'm a governess.
Is it your profession?
Yes, it is, for now.
Or you do not like it?
Oh, I don't mind. I like the children.
And can you tell me again your whereabouts last night between midnight and 2 o'clock?
I was in my room with Miss Olsen. We chatted until quite late. Well, you see, she talks a bit, especially when she's anxious, and I may have dozed off for a few minutes.
I see.
May I go?
You may. Oh, wait. There is one last thing. Would you sign your name, please?
All right. Good thing I'm left-handed. I have trouble signing with my right at the moment.
Merci. Please get some rest. And on behalf of the company, I will have some champagne brought straight to your room.
Thank you so much. That's very generous.
And if there is anything else that I can do to help, please let me know. Oh, no. Can you imagine if she died? Oh, mon Dieu. And she really is a charming woman.
No, she is more than charming. She is completely untrustworthy.
Mr. Madame?
Yes. I believe she has lied to me again and again. She claims that she is not well acquainted with the colonel, but yet they are clearly a team. To him she said she wanted to put something behind her, and now she pretends that these words mean nothing.
But she was shot.
In the arm.
It could have killed her.
I wonder.
About what? Oh, no. You do not suspect her of Cassetti's murder.
It is possible.
But it is impossible. She is cold. She is English. She has no emotions. She would not stab a man to death. She would shoot him in the core.
No, you are wrong. If you think that this crime is sudden and passionate, this is a long-headed crime. And me, I would stake my career on it. Look at this.
The sleeve of her blouse, so what?
There is a powder burn at the entry point,
Which means?
that the gun was very close to the sleeve when it went off.
So what? The man was 2 feet away.
Pardon, messieurs. I have finished the search.
And
Nothing. There is no sign of an intruder anywhere. I searched all the cars and he has vanished. If you like, I can show you.
No, c'est tout. Would you now be so kind as to remove your tunic, please? I see that none of your buttons is missing. And moreover, the thread for each button is old, so nothing was sewn on recently.
That is correct. But may I ask,
Mrs. Hubbard found this button in her room this morning.
it is not mine, monsieur.
No, so I see, but it matches yours exactly.
It does.
Michel, are there other attendants on this train at the moment?
There is one in second class, a ticket taker I've known for years. We have just been chatting.
Is he large or small?
Quite large, I'm afraid. He has trouble getting down the aisles. Shall I ask him to see you?
No, that is quite all right. And what other passengers besides the one in this carriage are on the train?
There is hardly anyone at the moment. It is off season. There is a mother and child in the Belgrade coach behind us, along with Monsieur Duke, of course. And in the carriage to Bucharest, there is one older couple.
And could there be a second conductor on this train wearing a uniform like yours?
Oh, no, monsieur. There is no such thing. I had to earn this uniform with many years of service. However,
Oui?
well, frankly, I'm not sure I trust her word, but Miss Olsen says that last night she saw what she calls a second conductor on the train.
Miss Olsen.
Oui, she told me this morning.
she did not tell us this morning.
She said he was wearing a uniform like mine, and when she spoke to him, he did not respond. In fact,
What? Tell me, quickly.
the princess tells me that she also saw this man last night.
Oh la la. What is it? It's just the kind of clue that I have been waiting for. Michel, come with me. I will need your help quickly. Monsieur Book, we will be right back. Do not move.
But where are you going?
You will see in a moment. Ah, pardon, madame. We will be right back.
But I thought you wanted to question
I
me.
do. Just stay where you are.
Well, that was exciting. Now listen, I want my passport back.
She goes through the passports on the table, looking for her own.
What if there was another shooting and we had to make a run for it? I mean, can you imagine me wandering around Yugoslavia without a passport? They'd shoot me on sight and ask questions later. Who are you? Well, I'm Mrs. Helen Hubbard from the Minneapolis Golf and Racquet Club. Blam! I'd be a cloud of feathers.
Madame, you have been extremely patient, and believe me, I am so grateful. If there is ever anything that I can do to thank you, I am at your service. Mwah.
You know, you remind me of one of my husbands.
Which one?
The next one.
No, please put it back. It is my suitcase. You may not take it.
Poirot bursts into the room, followed by Michelle, who is carrying a battered suitcase. Michelle is followed by the Countess and the Princess.
Monsieur Poirot, really?
You must have a reason.
I have an excellent reason.
Please stop.
Miss Olsen, you must permit me to take a look in your suitcase.
But they are private things. It has my undergarment.
Mr. Poirot!
Miss Olsen, we will look at nothing that will embarrass you. You have my promise. Wait. I have an idea. Countess, would you be so glad as to assist me?
Of course.
Now, Miss Olsen, Michelle tells me that you saw a second conductor on the train last night. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And what did he look like?
He was small, like woman.
That is correct. I saw him as well.
Ah, bon. That is perfect. So the question now is, where did he go? Is he hiding on the train? If he was still in uniform, we could spot him quickly. Therefore, at least one conclusion is that he has hidden his uniform and done so in the luggage of one of the passengers.
But why choose me? There are other suitcases. Try the other one first.
Countess, would you be so kind as to raise the lid and tell us what you see inside?
The Countess raises the lid and pulls out a uniform identical to the one that Michelle is wearing.
I have never seen it. I have hurt no one. I would not do such a thing. I am not a murderer.
Oh, no. I am not accusing you. You did nothing wrong.
I did nothing wrong.
Monsieur Bouc, does the jacket have all the buttons in its place?
No. There is one missing.
And there you go. Are we surprised at this?
Wait a moment. There is something more.
He reaches into the pockets of the uniform and pulls out a large, distinctive-looking key.
Oh, no, mon Dieu. It is a passkey for all the doors on the train.
And that would explain how he got in my room.
Oh,
Now, mademoiselle, just tell me, when was the last time you looked in your suitcase?
It was yesterday, just after we boarded.
So someone could have hidden it this morning after you left the room?
I have no idea. I've never seen it before.
Monsieur Poirot, I must insist that you stop bullying poor Miss Olsen in this manner. She is simply not up to it.
I'm not up to it.
Not like the rest of us.
You are right. You are right. Forgive me, please. Forgive me. Hmm? Now, would you be so kind as to help Miss Olsen back to her room and take Mrs. Hubbard with you? I need to speak with the Countess alone for a moment, if you don't mind.
Well, of course we mind. Every time things get juicy, you throw us out again.
It will not be long, I promise you.
Come along, please, do as he says. D'accord, thank you very much. This way, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.
You seem troubled.
I'm getting more and more concerned.
That another crime will occur?
No. That I will solve this one.
Poirot picks up one of the passports and reads the contents.
Countess, what is your maiden name?
Goldenberg, as you can see in the passport.
Wait, but now you use Andreni?
My husband's name.
Of course, the Countess Andreni. And I believe your first name is Elena?
That is correct. I am suspect.
I merely ask questions, that is my job.
I thought we were friends.
It is my greatest wish. But please indulge me. This morning, I examined your passport and I saw a grease spot at the beginning of your name, Elena. The spot occurs before the first letter and it could easily hide another letter, such as H. Now, if you add an H at the beginning of the name, it becomes Helena, which is used by Shakespeare in A Midsummer Night's Dream.
That is true.
The kind of name an actress might choose for her daughter.
I suppose.
An actress such as Linda Arden, the grandmother of Daisy Armstrong.
If you say so.
And the name Linda Arden itself is a stage name, surely. The word Arden was the maiden name of Shakespeare's mother, and also the name of the forest in his play entitled...
As you like.
Oh, you know your Shakespeare well for a Hungarian.
I have studied Shakespeare since I was a child.
Yes, I know. I believe your mother, Linda Arden, taught it to you. And that would make you the aunt of little Daisy Armstrong. The aunt who went to graduate school and got a degree in medicine, then moved to Europe and got married.
I do not know this woman, but I would imagine that she still suffers from the loss of her niece and her sister.
My dear, there is no use denying it. When the train gets underway again and we reach the next city, a simple telegram will get me a photograph of Daisy's aunt and it will be all over.
But I didn't kill him. I should have, but I didn't. I didn't even know who he was until you discovered it, but when you did, I realized that if you knew that I was Daisy's aunt, you would think that I killed him because he was a blackmailer and a swine and the murderer of a darling, sweet, innocent child who deserved so much better.
Madame, really?
It's the truth, I swear to God, but I will tell you this. If I had known who he was, that he was Bruno Cassetti, the man who stole two of the people I love the most in this world, I would have pushed the dagger in through his chest myself, and believe me, no other wounds would have been necessary.
Poirot is alone. We hear the agonized sounds of a solo cello once again. A moment later, Monsieur Bouc is seen at the end of the corridor speaking into the radio transmitter.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me? I am calling Zagreb station. Can you hear me, Zagreb? This is Constantine Bouc of the Orient Express.
We are hearing you, Monsieur Bouc. You are loud and clear. Go on.
Yes, we remain in a snowdrift in the Polensky Pass. Where are you?
We have been delayed, Monsieur Bouc, but we should reach you presently. How are your conditions?
We are losing heat and light, provisions are low, the passengers are angry, and we have a dead man in compartment number 2. So please tell me, how are things with you?
We hear the allegro movement of Haydn's string quartet in D minor, and the lights crossfade to the dining car. We see the Colonel, Greta, the Princess, and the Queen all waiting impatiently.
Well, I'd like to know what the hell's going on.
He wrote me a note and said to meet him here.
He wrote me the same thing.
I find this ridiculous.
So where's that little Frenchman hiding? Is he being mysterious again?
He sent me a note. He joined him here.
I received one also.
Well, he's obviously up to something, the little weasel.
Ah,
The man is ridiculous.
pardon. I've kept you waiting and I apologize. I had to, how do you say, get my ducks in a row.
Ducks? What ducks? There were ducks in Africa.
It was only an expression, mademoiselle.
Now please, all of you, be seated. I have an announcement to make. Ladies and gentlemen, I have called you together in order to reveal to you the killer of Monsieur Samuel Ratchet, also known as Bruno Cassetti.
Oh, thank God.
Well, you're kidding.
It is about time.
What, you don't did it?
I don't believe it.
I believe that I do. But first, I must interrogate the last of your fellow passengers, who has not yet answered any of my questions. The reason I do so in front of you all will become apparent. Colonel Arbuthnot.
Me?
James?
Do you have a problem answering questions, monsieur?
No, of course not.
Excellent. Now, in the cause of your service to your country, did you know an officer named Charles Armstrong?
No.
Have you heard of him?
Yes? He was said to be a fine soldier.
Did you serve with him?
No, we served in the same theater of action, but we never met.
That is too bad. My impression is you would have been friends. You know where he died?
No.
Have you heard of the Daisy Armstrong case?
The girl in America.
Yes.
Of course I have. She was murdered by some brute who was out for money.
Do you remember who did it?
No.
Did you know that Colonel Armstrong was Daisy Armstrong's father?
No, I didn't.
Or that he took his own life after the tragedy?
Oh, God. Sorry to hear.
Colonel, at the hotel in Istanbul, I overheard you say to Miss Debenham that you wished she was out of all this. What did you mean?
I have no idea.
Then she said that no one should see you together until it was all behind you. What could you mean?
I can't imagine.
And you are aware that you are obstructing justice.
I am aware of no such thing.
And you, mademoiselle, can you explain what you meant?
I told you already. I wanted to get the trip behind me.
I think you are lying.
Now listen here.
Sit down, Colonel. I am still talking. I would also suggest that you are lying, Miss Debenham, when you said that you were shot by a man in the shadows.
That's ridiculous.
Well, then who else did it?
You did. You shot yourself in the arm to distract me from the truth.
How dare you say that? Do you think she's potty? Take it back.
Then tell me what you meant at the hotel. You wanted to get her out of what? She wanted to get behind her. What?
I'm married. All right, you little Frenchman. I'm in the process of getting a divorce, which I deserve because my wife is seeing another man. But I'll lose my case in court if it's known that I'm seeing a woman socially. When the divorce is behind us, we can stop hiding, which is why we've been trying to keep things private, no thanks to you.
You have been doing a very poor job of it, I am afraid. At the hotel you were quite indiscreet.
Well, some of us have emotions, Poirot. Huh? We can't always keep them hidden the way you do. I'm sure you'd sacrifice your own mother if it led to one of your damn solutions, and I don't think you'd know what the hell you're doing.
I know exactly what I'm doing, Colonel. I am investigating the murder of Bruno Cassetti.
Well, he deserved to die.
Aha! Then you know who he is.
Well, yes. They told me.
Oh, but you did not know before they told you? And Colonel Armstrong was not your friend in the war. You did not save lives together as you fought with the Indian Army on the northern frontier. You did not swear fidelity and friendship with this man at the time of your trial by fire together. And now you do not give him the respect he deserves for all the tragedy and loss that he had to endure before he took his own life.
Arbuthnot rushes across the room, grabs Poirot by the lapels and lifts him off his feet.
Shut up, you little bastard! What do you know about tragedy, huh? What do you know about honor and loyalty and your goddamn justice?
All right, it's just...
You have been telling me lies, n'est-ce pas? Everyone in this room has been telling me lie after lie. But make no mistake, I know who killed Bruno Cassetti. And I know precisely how it was accomplished.
We're listening.
The facts of the case could not be more simple. At 5 o'clock last evening, this train left Istanbul on its way to Calais with stops in between. At approximately 12:30 last night, it ran into a snowdrift and was forced to stop. And at 9 o'clock this morning, Monsieur Cassetti was found dead with 8 stab wounds in his chest. These are the facts. C'est tout. C'est fini. However, these facts permit two possible solutions to the crime. Under the first solution, one of Cassetti's enemies joined the train at Sofia and brought with him a wagon-lit uniform, which he later put on. Then last night, using a passkey to enter Cassetti's compartment, he stabbed the man 8 times and left through the door to Mrs. Hubbard's compartment.
Well, that's what I've been telling you.
Well, under this theory, the murderer hid the dagger in Mrs. Hubbard's makeup bag, and as he escaped, he thrust the uniform into a passing suitcase.
It sounds to me like we should open champagne.
Here, here.
Well done, my friend. You have solved the case.
Oh, I wouldn't get too excited. He hasn't finished yet. Have you, Poirot?
No, Mrs. Hubbard, I haven't finished. Let me propose a second scenario. It is built on 2 unexpected events that changed everything for Cassetti's killer. First, the snow that forced the train to stop. It meant that the killer now had a very big problem. Where could he go? He could not get off at the next station because there was no next station. And so, if he left the train and made a run for it, he would have left tracks in the snow and frozen to death. So, unless the killer could fly, and for at least 20 miles to the next village, he must still be among us on this train. He must be one of you.
You said there were 2 unexpected events. We cannot wait to hear the other one.
The second event was the discovery of the charred fragment of a letter that said, "Remember little Daisy Armstrong." The killer must have believed that he had destroyed the letter entirely, but he did not. And from this fragment, we know that the killer was not some random enemy of Monsieur Cassetti, but someone who came to avenge the death of a 3-year-old child. Am I being fair about this, Miss Debenham? What do you think?
I suppose so.
Excellent. Now, with these 2 facts in mind, a second solution took root in my mind. Little by little, it has blossomed there in all its terrible ruthlessness. The first clue leading to this solution appeared within an hour of my arrival at Istanbul, when I learned that there was not a single ticket left on the Orient Express.
Instantly, the room goes dark with only blue spotlights on the passengers as needed. This is a flashback to a moment earlier in the play, and the technique will recur again and again over the next few minutes. This time, the spotlight is on Monsieur Bouc.
It is never served at this time of year. That is ridiculous.
And it was ridiculous. Why was this train so suddenly full at this time of year? But thanks to Monsieur Bouc, I had a berth on the train, and soon on the platform, I met an astonishing company of accomplished actors.
Princess Dragomirov, how lovely to see you.
I have agreed to pay her way to Dieppe if she will assist me as I travel to Paris.
I am not married, except to God. I am a vessel.
And you are Michelle, I recall from the summer.
French, Russian, Swedish, Hungarian, what were all these people doing on the same train? Something was amiss. It was like looking at a painting by Pablo Picasso. Over there is an eye, on top of that there is an ear, down there is a nose. Nothing was normal. Then, that night I witnessed from the shadows one other occurrence after another. We're doing nothing wrong. Remember that.
Come on along and listen to the lullaby of Broadway.
And then came the murder itself. A businessman dies in a locked room in a torrent of almost unspeakable violence.
Dear God, it is awful!
I cannot believe it.
Mr. Ratchet!
I cannot lose.
And then it was time to inspect the body, and the Countess and I found not 1, not 2, but 8 stab wounds to the chest.
Perhaps
the men changed hands during the stabbing.
Or there were two assailants.
One strong, one weak.
After that, I was offered a feast of clues. The handkerchief, the wine, the gun, until one clue of real importance was at last discovered. The broken watch.
It is stopped at 1:15.
Aha! At last, the time of death.
But for me, the importance of the watch was not the time it told, but the place it was found, in Monsieur Cassetti's pyjama pocket. An unlikely place to keep a watch, don't you think? Do you sleep with your watch in your pyjama? Do you? Or you? I don't think so. It would be uncomfortable. Which led me to believe that the watch was deliberately placed in Monsieur Ratchet's pocket so that I would think that the time of the death was 1:15, a time when every single person on this train had an alibi.
12 to 2? I was with Colonel Arbuthnot the entire time.
Well, I was alone in bed around 1 o'clock when some man scared the living bejesus out of me.
At midnight, the Countess Andretti and I read a book for the next 2 hours in my room.
I was with Miss Debenham, who is also nice. We talked until perhaps 2 o'clock.
So, was Monsieur Cassetti killed at 1:15? The killer tried to make me think so, but he tried to convince me that Mr. Ratchet was in his bed asleep just a few minutes earlier at 12:37.
Ah! Monsieur Ratchet, are you all right?
Ce n'est rien. C'est un cauchemar.
But there was one very large inconsistency. Did you spot it? Did you? Monsieur Cassetti could not speak French.
I wrote his letters and did a lot of translations for him. He only knew English.
So, the conclusion is that Monsieur Cassetti did not cry out at 12:37, but someone else was in his room while Monsieur Cassetti was lying there, drugged.
Mr. Ratchet, I put your glass of wine next to your sink.
Monsieur McQueen, how am I doing so far, do you think? Thus it was that I came to the conclusion that the whole business at 12:37 was a comedy played out for my benefit, a makeshift scheme because no one expected me to be on this train. It was a ruse, like the watch, that I was meant to see through, so that I would believe that Monsieur Cassetti was dead by 12:37. But in fact, Monsieur Cassetti did not die until after 2 o'clock, when absolutely no one has an alibi.
You know, I really don't think we need to be subjected to a performance like this in front of all...
Sit down, Mrs. Hubbard. In my opinion, Cassetti was killed at approximately 2 o'clock. The latest hour the Countess gave as a possibility. As for actually who killed Monsieur Cassetti, the second real clue was found by Monsieur on the floor, near the body, the handkerchief with the letter H in the fabric. And I now return it to its rightful owner, Princess Natalia Dragomirov.
But my name begins with an N, monsieur.
Except that in the Cyrillic script of the Russian language, the letter N is written like the letter H in English.
Thank you. I must have dropped it.
And that leaves the most puzzling occurrence of the entire case. As some of you will recall, I was speaking with Miss Olsen and learning of her fine profession as a baby nurse, when suddenly there was a scream and a gunshot. But this was no ordinary scream and gunshot, my friends. This was a fabrication so fantastic and so elaborate that for a moment, even I was confused.
You don't understand. I tried everywhere I can think of and she's gone. Oh my God, it's her!
Who was it?
What's going on?
Mary!
Within moments of seeing Miss Debenham on the floor, I knew it was all a sham, a performance. How could a man only 3 feet away merely graze the victim in the arm? Huh? How could he then vanish in seconds and disappear entirely from the train? And why would I find a powder burn on the sleeve of the blouse where the bullet entered? Because she fired the bullet herself, then dropped the gun, and then fell to the floor.
Nonsense.
You're crazy.
Exactly, crazy. That or committed totally to a course of action that meant everything to you. Something so vital that you needed to close the circle on the one event that scarred the life of every person in this room. The murder of little Daisy Armstrong.
My father brought the case against that son of a bitch.
Daisy's grandmother is my dearest friend.
He deserved to die.
I would imagine that she still suffers from the loss of her niece.
4 people on this train were friends or family of Daisy Armstrong. Do you not find this incredible? And if there were 4, could there not have been 6 or 8? Could Miss Debenham not have been young Daisy's governess at the time of the kidnapping?
I lived with the family for about a year. I was the governess.
And Greta Olsen, who has been a baby nurse for years. May we not suppose that she was Daisy's nurse on Long Island?
I'm most happy in Africa as nurse to babies.
As for Michelle, it struck me from the beginning that a scheme like this could not be accomplished without someone on the inside. In this case, a conductor who could come and go as he pleased. And then I recalled that the maid who took her own life was from Paris, like Michelle. And I wondered if this unfortunate girl was not Michelle's daughter who went to work in America. And that leaves one last passenger on this train who is not accounted for. It leaves Mrs. Hubbard, who has certainly turned in the finest performance of the evening. It is not hard to see that she is an actress by profession, the grandmother of little Daisy Armstrong, the great Linda Arden, who has dazzled so many audiences during her distinguished career.
Listen to the lullaby of old Broadway.
Mrs. Hubbard, I salute you, and I assume that you masterminded the scheme from the beginning. Is this true?
I always wanted to be a director. You get to choose the costumes.
Well, you have accomplished it with the greatest skill. The final penny for me, it dropped into place when I heard that Greta Olsen and the princess saw the phantom conductor last night in the corridor. Did every person on the train see this phantom person except me? It was too much. It was, how do you say in America? It was overkill. And so in the end, the murder was committed. There were 8 stab wounds and 8 killers, some strong, some weak, some left-handed, some right-handed. You planned it together, you killed together, and in the name of justice, you played God together.
We see the murder now. In a blue lighted memory, each of the murderers plunges the knife into the body in front of them. Meanwhile, we hear screech after screech of terror in the school.
For Daisy!
For Charles.
For my father.
For that little girl.
Oh, my darling Daisy.
For my daughter, you pig.
For little Daisy!
For my grandchild.
The lights change back to normal.
And now, my friends, what am I to do? It cannot be long until the Yugoslavian police arrive, at which time I must tell them the truth, n'est-ce pas?
You mean the truth, of course, about the second conductor.
Anything else would be a complete injustice.
On the contrary, it is the only justice. Under the law, if you commit a murder, you must pay the price.
But it was Cassetti who murdered the little girl.
And did that give you a right to kill him?
Of course it did. He killed 5 people for some ransom money. And he'd done it before. And he'd have done it again. And now it's time for you to turn around and walk away and leave us alone.
No, it is not. It is not that time. I have never in my life turned my back on the law. Do you understand that, Colonel? The law must be obeyed, or we become barbarians. It is 1934. Europe is changing, and there will be chaos. There will be nothing left of us, and we will have to start over. I cannot support this. I cannot support this.
The man was a monster, Monsieur Perrault. You know he was.
But I cannot. I cannot just...
May a humble actress speak her piece? Monsieur Poirot, we are in your hands. We all know this and we acknowledge it. But would you really have preferred it if Bruno Cassetti had gotten away scot-free? Would that be a kind of justice you are after? Look at it this way. You have a complete solution staring you in the face. You have an intruder who boarded the train at Sofia. You have the button. You have the uniform. You have 3 reliable witnesses who saw the man in the corridor. And surely you're not calling all of us liars. Because if you did that, there would be months of trials. Lives would be damaged even more than they have already. A great many people would be forced to relive the most terrible moment in all their lives. More terrible than any human being should ever have to experience. Is that what you want? Examine your heart. And tell us what you want.
You put me to the test, madame. And I am greatly troubled. My friend, you are the director of the Wagon. What do you say?
In my opinion, the first theory that you put forward is entirely correct. We had a deadly intruder disguised as a conductor, and I believe that is the solution that you should offer the police.
Alors, my friends, may you go with God. And I hope that He gives you the strength that you need to get on with your lives.
Takes a moment to sink in. And then everyone starts to breathe again. They all start chattering with immense relief. Mary and Arbuthnot hug each other, so do Michelle and Mrs. Hubbard. The cloud has lifted and they feel alive again. Ka-chunk! They run to the windows and see the men outside.
Oh, the crews, they have arrived!
We are here!
Oh, praise the Lord!
The train is moving!
I can feel it.
Oh, thank God!
Hello there. Thank you so much. Oh, James, do you see them?
Told you we'd be all right in the end. You know, Poirot, you turned out to be more than that.
Poirot?
Monsieur Poirot!
He's gone.
Gone where, Monsieur Poirot?
They look around. He is gone. And then a light comes up on Poirot by himself. He speaks to us, the audience.
So the case was over, at last. And the passengers went their separate ways. I have learned since that time that Greta Olson did in fact get to Africa. For the first time, as it turned out. And she did work for the children, and she saved many lives. The Colonel and Miss Debenham were married in a quiet ceremony on St. James's Square. Monsieur McQueen returned to his business, Michel to his trains, and the princess, she left us for the great beyond. The Countess alas, went back to her husband. Monsieur Bouc and I have remained good friends, and Mrs. Hubble, the great Linda Arden, has recently returned to the stage in a musical entitled No, No, Nanette, in which I am told she brings audiences to their feet. Meanwhile, I beg you to believe me when I tell you that I wish all of them well, and I hope that they prosper till the end of their days. But at night, in the darkness, when I am all alone, I ask myself again and again if this was justice, if I did the right thing. And on many such nights, it is not until morning that I can close my eyes.
The lights fade. Curtain.
Thank you all for being with us, and for those of you who can, I hope we'll see you upstairs for a little refreshment. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Elevator to the